Good evening. It's been kind of a long day today. I went to my oncologist's consultation, and it's positive, and yet I'm not used to this. Again, it's the breast cancer therapy. Cancer is gone. They just want to make sure that it doesn't return. And so that's where I am right now. So I've been given two choices. There's something called HER2, and it's positive, and my hormones were feeding the cancer, although it was about the size of a pea but smaller than a dime. And they removed it and some material that was surrounding it, in which no cancer was found. So my therapy is either I just do the oral medication, and I have some time to think about that. So in about a week or so, I'll have my decision. I'm not really sure. Still kind of feels, although positive, it's a lot to think about. Never had this before. Never had cancer before. Never had to think about this before. Was never cut open before. It's all new, but the whole idea is that it does not return, and that when I first started doing these, I call them basic vlogs for me because I'm new at this period, and I'm sure anyone who has watched, you'll notice the kind of what I would call the you can hear the newness in it. There are things I forget to say. I forgot to even just now because I just dove right in. State the day. Today is day 16, December 16th. Challenging myself to just post a video every day about my life, a little bit about my life and other things. But this just happened to come along with the posting. Everything was new as of the end of October. The decision made by the surgeon to go right in and do this the day before Thanksgiving. The second time was just last week, Wednesday, to remove the extra material. Although nothing was found, and I'm pretty lucky. Please, when remember to, and don't be afraid of getting your yearly breast exams. That's how this was found. I admitted before that I didn't always do the self-exam, but based on how small it was, the surgeon said you probably would never have felt this. It was just easily read based on the materials inside. For me, they said that it was fibrous, so that the material inside my breast was fibrous enough where they could read something, and they don't always get that, and they appreciated the fact that they could see it. So it's either an oral medication, which I'd have to be on for 5 years. Sounds like a lot. And or, if I'm not mistaken, it's every 3 week kind of, gosh, I want to get my stuff together before I get on here and do this, but what I'll just say right now, based on what I recall and how I can put it into a picture form, because sometimes that's how I absorb things quicker, the visuals. I would go in for, it wouldn't be a transfusion, but it would be an injection of medication, if you will, medication that would keep the HER2 from being increased, so that it's working on the inside through the blood. And still, I would still have to take the medication along with that. And of course, there are side effects, but it's not seen as a chemo kind of thing. But still, there's always going to be side effects to things. So I have a lot to read and decisions to make. And tomorrow I was supposed to also go to the radiation therapy consultation, but that's not going to happen because on the East Coast here in New York, it's snowing right now. I'd say it's been snowing for an hour now, early evening. It was supposed to start snowing earlier in the afternoon, but this is supposed to be our first big one. So for folks trying to protect themselves and also not have themselves out there, because it's supposed to be 6 to 12 inches. It was canceled, so that won't happen until the end of the month. So I have time to think about this one because I went to this appointment today. So my nerves that I had yesterday about going there today, they're a little bit better, but now I have another thing to think about. That's just the way life is. Stuff comes up, you work, you deal, then something else comes up and you continue to work and deal and still try to strive for whatever goals you have within something like this or just other things that you were doing. So it's just, the best thing to do is not obviously to run away from it, but just to take it and just figure out what your best options are. So, like I said, I don't know how many people watch, but this is for someone. And right now it's for me. So I'm faced with something that I am dealing with. It's not eventually dealing with. I'm just faced with something. I thought I'd be a lot more nervous talking about it today, but I'm not. So in some ways, this has been helpful to me doing this for the last 16 days, being a little bit more comfortable. I say a little bit because I still don't show myself a little bit, but more comfortable. And it's just continuing to help me focus forward on other moves that need to be made. But right now, this one is an important one. And I don't want the other things that I like to do and want to create in my life to fall by the wayside. That's just still going to have to happen. It's just that this one here, the therapy and the work after the surgery has to begin. So I said this was short. It's not bad, but I don't want to be repetitive and boring. It's just I at least got out on the table and off my chest what I needed to say. So with that said, I'm going to chill and relax and then try to study for my final and tomorrow. And thanks for listening. Have a great evening and a greater tomorrow.